Today, China presented to the world the largest military parade in history. 40,000 soldiers, hundreds of nuclear missiles, hundreds of hypersonic missiles, 6th-generation stealth fighters. Even more than that, even laser weapons have now come into the hands of the Chinese army. So this military parade was a clear message, a message that the New World Order really is no longer just an idea, but a reality taking shape on the ground. And today's question is, what now? And is America really capable of stopping this terrifying Chinese advance? So today we'll reveal to you exactly with images what China displayed in this military parade of weapons and new military technologies. And how did the US respond after this terrifying parade? Stay with us. Dear viewers, peace be upon you and God's mercy and blessings, and welcome to the renewed meeting, God willing, from the series Opinion, which we dedicate to analyzing and reviewing the most important and powerful weapons that China showcased today in its military parade, the largest military parade in the world throughout history. But before showing the pictures of the most important weapons China unveiled, everyone must know that this military parade came on the occasion of the 80th anniversary of the Russian-Chinese alliance's victory over the Japanese forces that were occupying China at that time, meaning during World War II. So what is happening today? Today the same thing is happening as the Russian-Chinese alliance is being reformed once again on the very same day. China held the Shanghai Summit, which we spoke about in the previous episode, and confirmed that it is determined to establish a frightening Eastern alliance that includes Russia, India, North Korea, and others, determined to build a new multipolar world order. But just 2 days later, it held this massive military parade to reinforce the message that talk of a new world order is not just a theory, not just an idea, but a real reality, backed by military power and advanced technology now in China's hands, with which China has even begun to surpass the strongest country in the world, America. Truly, China, through this military parade in the capital Beijing, has today transformed itself into a spectacle of power and intimidation. A parade that included more 40,000 soldiers, over 500 pieces of advanced military equipment, nuclear missiles, giant missiles, hypersonic missiles, drone-launched missiles, and even advanced mobile laser weapons, as we will see. So the first new weapon China revealed today that we will discuss is this intercontinental ballistic missile named DF-61. This missile belongs to the new generation, China's latest development in ballistic missile weaponry. The previous version of this missile was named DF-51, and it was unveiled recently, maybe in the year 2020 or something like that. But China's tremendous technological advancement has always kept it moving forward, developing this missile and announcing a new version called DF-61. Up until now, no one knows the exact details of this new missile. No one knows its exact capabilities. If the previous version could carry 14 nuclear warheads, listen carefully, the previous version could carry 14 nuclear warheads. If its range reaches 15,000 kilometers, then what are the capabilities of this new missile? What are its technological abilities? What are its destructive powers? Truly something terrifying. China today is not revealing everything. It showcases the weapon, but without disclosing the rest of the details or features of this weapon. Exactly. That's what leaves US intelligence and Western intelligence in general in genuine shock, trying to figure out what is really going on. So the most dangerous today in all these weapons I will show you, as I said, showcased in this military parade for the first time. It's not just in their technological or destructive capabilities, but the danger lies in the enormous number that China produces at very low cost. China's industrial capabilities are massive. Any weapon, any technology that China develops, it manufactures in huge quantities and distributes across its entire military. America, for example, has weapons factories and missile factories, but produces only small numbers each year at very high costs. We might be talking about $1 million per missile or more, but China manufactures thousands of them at the lowest possible cost. This point is starting to create extremely serious problems for the Western world regarding the ability of any adversary, whoever it may be, to confront China or hinder Chinese military movements. So today as well, among the weapons China showcased for the first time, we find this massive nuclear missile. The TF-5C, an intercontinental missile with a range of more than 20,000 kilometers, meaning it can reach any point on Earth. Notice how terrifying its shape is. Notice the thickness of the missile. It looks like a massive fuel tank. Truly terrifying when we see such images. Among the weapons China showcased, it also displayed a wide range of hypersonic missiles, capable of maneuvering in ways truly impossible to intercept with current air defense systems. China also showcased a very wide range of different remotely operated vehicles. We're talking about drones equipped with machine guns, drones specialized in demining, others designed for supply missions, ships, unmanned submarines, all remotely operated vehicles revealed in this parade. But the most dangerous thing China displayed in its air force was what? It was this aircraft. Notice this aircraft appearing now on the screen. A 6th generation stealth fighter jet that surpasses all other aircraft. And the most dangerous thing China displayed in drones was what? It was this massive submarine. Look at this image, this giant submarine, which China named Hello America, a giant torpedo-shaped submarine with a length reaching 20 meters. Anyone who sees it would think it is manned by the Navy, but in reality, it is a remotely operated submarine. A submarine capable of carrying all types of missiles, including nuclear ones, and capable of staying underwater for more than 8 days without refueling. Today, what does China call it? Hello, America. Also, China showcased for the first time a new main battle tank. Lightweight, more flexible, more interconnected, more agile, requiring only their crew members. We're talking about a very advanced tank combining 3 systems together. A hybrid propulsion system, AI-guided navigation, and a protection system against suicide drones. In short, a tank we could say has no equal in today's context. Also today, we will talk about a very dangerous weapon China displayed. Because China has recently benefited greatly from the experiences of wars around the world, Syria, Karabakh, Libya, the Russia-Ukraine war, and others. All these wars provided China with lessons. They confirmed that suicide drones are an extremely dangerous weapon. We can say the weapon of our era. That's why we can say that among China's weapons terrifying the West today is the anti-drone laser weapon. China displayed 2 versions of this laser weapon. One version mounted on ships as an air defense system protecting these ships from drone attacks, while another version is mounted on trucks to protect ground forces, camps, and others from attacks. This weapon, which as I said has become the weapon of the era, suicide drones in reality. While there's fierce competition between the US, Israel, Germany, and Britain over who will reach this technology first, laser weapon, China announced during this parade that not only has it reached it, but has surpassed it. It has integrated this weapon today into all ships, all military vehicles, so that everyone understands exactly what I mean. If this weapon is still under testing and development in the US, Israel, Germany, and others, China says it has moved beyond that stage and reached deployment, large-scale operations. This laser weapon is in fact the only weapon in the world most effective against small drones, meaning suicide drones. Instead of shooting down these drones, usually suicide drones, with missiles or projectiles, they are simply disabled by laser. This weapon is considered the least costly ever, with each laser shot costing less than a single bullet. Among its advantages is that this weapon does not require logistical supplies, no stockpiles of missiles, projectiles, or resupply sustainably. All it needs is an energy source only. The dangerous aspect for the West here, as I said, is China's enormous industrial capacity. When China reaches a certain technology, it only takes a few days before that weapon or technology is deployed across all military units in sufficient numbers. That's how massive its industrial power is. China confirmed it possesses the necessary military industrial strength to support and implement the Chinese president's vision of the global system. If the US needs more than $800 billion annually as a defense budget, China needs only $300 billion to achieve the same results. Perhaps even better results than the US, with less than half of America's defense budget. This military parade revealed a number of facts showing that the balance has begun to tilt in China's favor. If China has achieved remarkable results on the political and diplomatic level, as I explained in previous episodes, today it says to the whole world that these impressive results also apply on the military level. Today, even when we talk about American military power, what do we talk about first? The Navy? About the Marines, the forces deployed in all the world's seas with destroyers, submarines, aircraft carriers, and so on. This is the weapon that America has, and this is the weapon that makes America a superpower feared by everyone. But today, even from this naval perspective, we find that China is moving at a very fast pace to surpass America. Today, all reports say that by 2030, China will, according to plan, have a navy with more warships than America by 48%. But I say this may happen before 2028, not before 2030, because China has now entered the stage of maximum speed. So what will the world look like when China reaches all these capabilities? Historically, the one with the largest navy is the one who sets the world order. The one who sets the rules the whole world follows. This has always been the case throughout history, from the Phoenicians to the Romans to Islamic states such as the Ottoman Empire, the British Empire, and finally America. So when China soon becomes the owner of the largest navy, it will be the one ruling the world, setting its laws. And when we talk about the navy, we are not just talking about ships. We are talking about a complete fleet with its air forces, its air defense, its hypersonic missiles, and also with aircraft and unmanned vehicles with technological weapons. What China has exhibited today in terms of unmanned vehicles is something some people cannot even imagine. The danger is that China does not reveal its aircraft capabilities at all. It keeps them as a surprise, to shock the enemy. If you notice, it displays an aircraft model clearly, and they say it is an attack aircraft or a suicide drone or reconnaissance or for supplies. But the exact details are not disclosed. What are its operational capabilities? Not disclosed. What are its destructive or technological abilities? Nobody knows. China is waging a smart war before the war even begins. It lets American and Western intelligence agencies work day and night just to get any piece of information, whatever it may be, about these weapons and technologies. So today we are not saying that the Chinese army has surpassed the American army. Not at all. We are not saying that. But the dangerous thing now is that the gap between the two armies has been greatly reduced. in a very short period of time. Now the gap has become very small. In just the coming months, at this pace, the Chinese army will become the strongest in the world. Why do I say this? Because it is advancing, excelling tremendously, especially in this technological field, in technological weaponry, and artificial intelligence is the next lethal weapon that will determine military power in the future. So the dangerous thing now is that US President Trump followed all the stages of this military parade, and he followed it with great concern. Today, what is being said, it is said behind the scenes that Trump has begun planning to organize a new military parade for the American forces, where America will reveal all its real military capabilities. So that everyone knows, last June, America organized a military parade on the occasion of the 250th anniversary of the founding of the US Army. But that parade, only 6,000 soldiers instead of 40,000 soldiers. In China, it had about 130 military vehicles instead of 500 different military vehicles in China. So that parade was indeed successful because there was no competitor. There was nothing to compare with. But now, after this Chinese military parade, after China's spectacular success, perhaps America appeared very weak compared to the huge capabilities China revealed. Therefore, it is said that Trump is now planning to organize a new military parade involving the US Marines, where America will reveal all its real capabilities as a response to China, or as a deterrent to China, or perhaps as a message to the American people or to the whole world that America still has much more in its arsenal. If this is true, it means we have now entered the final stages before the beginning of the Great War. Tell us in the comments below the video, how do you think this military parade in China was? Has China really become a greater world power than America? Or does America still have something stronger than all these Chinese weapons? And perhaps it will reveal them in the coming days. Important details we will reveal every day, God willing, in these opinion episodes. Subscribe now, click the like button, and peace be upon you and God's mercy and blessings. Goodbye.